My name is Dorinda. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Dorinda Style. On my YouTube channel, I offer sewing tutorials for the home as well as sewing tutorials for clothing. Today's project involves making these beautiful nesting baskets that you see before me. I have a set of 3. I have a large, a medium, and a small. If you live in a city like I do, storage is of a premium, so you're constantly looking for ways to have storage while also providing a decorative piece for your home. And that's what I like about these baskets. When they're in use, you can stack them one on top of the other one, so they're not taking up any space. And then when you are not using them, what you could do is to place one inside of the other one. And there you have it. You're not taking up any additional space in your home. If you like what you see today on my YouTube channel, please hit the like button and subscribe so that you will know when I upload new videos to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. The supplies you will need for this project are fabric, double-sided fusible firm stabilizer, scissors, thread, and a tape measure. The patterns for this project can be found under the description for this YouTube project. Now that you've cut out your fabric, your next step is to work with your interfacing. You take your interfacing and place it in the middle of one of the circles of your fabric. You take another circle and place it on top. After that, the next step would be for you to iron it. You want to iron one side of your fabric, flip it over, then you iron the other side. Next, you're going to work on your rectangle. You're going to do this by placing your fusible interfacing on the lower half of your fabric, still allowing enough room at the bottom and the sides for your seam. You're going to fold over your fabric on top of your interfacing. Once it's folded over, you're going to iron your fabric to your interfacing. After you iron one side, you're going to flip it over and you're going to iron the other side. And this is how it will look when you finish that step. Now that you've ironed your interfacing between your fabric pieces, the next step is for you to sew a seam very close to the edge, and I use my presser foot as a guide to go around the edge. You also want to sew around the edge of your rectangle. When that step is complete, the next step is for you to turn it to the wrong side, fold it. You want to make a stitch right here, a 1/2 inch. You want to make sure your edges are even up at the top, so you're going to put a pin there to hold it in place while you're sewing. You also want to make sure that you back stitch at the top as well as the bottom. Trim down the seam you just sewed to approximately 1/4 of an inch. Next, you want to zigzag along the edge of the seam you just trimmed, making sure you backstitch at the front and the bottom. The next step is for you to fold your rectangle in half, mark with a tailor's chalk or a pen that you normally use, mark the front, the back, and the sides. Once you finish marking that, you want to do the same with your circle. You want to mark the front, the back, and the two sides. Now that you place your markings in place, you want to match your markings at the front. Place a clip there, flip it around to the back, match your markings in the back, place a clip, or you can use pins if you like. Match that, match the two sides that you marked. After you have placed your clips in the sides, the front, and the back, you want to go in between those and place extra clips to hold it in place. Next, you're going to sew the area of the top where you join the two pieces together with the clips. You're going to use a 1/2 inch seam, and you're going to sew very slow. You may also have to bend the cap slightly in order to get it to sew around the edge. Next, you're going to trim your cap where you sewed. Trim it down to about 1/4 of an inch. Next, you're going to zigzag around your cap in order to finish off the seam. Now that you have completed the top of the nesting basket, let's work on the bottom. The bottom of the nesting basket is made in the same way as the top. The only difference is because the circumference of the bottom is smaller so that the top can fit on the bottom. You begin making the bottom by ironing the interfacing you cut out in between the bottom circles and rectangles to fuse them together the same as you did for the top of the basket. Now you sew the seam about 1/4 inch from the edges of the circle and the rectangle. Next, you sew the short edges of the rectangle together. Trim the edge and finish the seam with the zigzag stitch. Mark your circles and rectangles with your tailor's chart at the front, the back, and the sides. Attach the circle to the rectangle after you have pinned the two together by sewing a 1/2 inch seam slowly around the edge. Trim the edges and finish the seam with the zigzag stitch. Turn your basket inside out, put the top on the bottom, and you are finished. You can make nesting baskets in all sizes and decorate them with ribbons and initials as I have done in the ones you see sitting here before me. I hope you enjoy making your baskets as much as I have enjoyed making these. Thank you for watching.